stunning, outlandish, head-turning and an instant conversation starter. The Mahindra born electric SUVs have been doing just that ever since they came out nearly a year ago. And while the B6 is the more cool and fun alternative of the two, it is in fact the XEV 9e which is gaining a lot more attention. So here's taking a deep dive into the larger and swankier of the two Mahindra born electric SUVs and answering the most important questions that you have in your mind. Starting with, what's the range? Now this is the Pack 3 version, the top of the line version of the XEV 9e with a larger 79 kWh battery pack. And Mahindra states that according to the MIDC, it should return 656 kilometers on a single charge. But the onboard computer shows around 550 kilometers only. So what should you realistically expect? Maybe say around 490 to 500 kilometers on a full charge. Now I drove this car from Pune to Mumbai and back, plus involved a lot of bumper to bumper traffic in both of these cities and thus arrived on this range figure. So the level of regen was kept to 1 because that was a very neat balance for driving purposes. Hence, if you're going to be using this car primarily within the city, there is a little more range to be had. But if you're going to be using it purely on the highway, expect somewhere between 420 and 450 kilometers on a single charge. A big battery pack and developing charging infrastructure means that waiting times are bound to exist. Now, I have been using fast charging stations to charge up the XEV a couple of times, and finding a fast charger in Pune is not that difficult. So I used a 120 kilowatt fast charging station once and it took around 45 to 50 minutes for a complete charge. Whereas the next time around when I used a 60 kilowatt charging station and I had to share the space with another car, charging times went up to 2.5 hours. Hence, planning ahead is necessary for an electric getaway. And even once you reach there, whether or not the charging station is active and reliable remains a constant worry.
And regular fast charging is not advisable. Hence, Mahindra will give you the option to either buy an 11 kilowatt or a 7.2 kilowatt wall charger at an additional cost. Charging times will definitely not be quite as fast. But hey, when you sleep, your car charges up.
Let's play a game. Distraction or useful? I will give you 5 seconds to decide whether this feature is a distraction or useful. Let's play. Feature number 1, the third screen, a complete distraction. Now Mahindra claims that it is at an angle so that even when the driver is driving, they will not be distracted by it. But that's clearly false. And who am I to say no to Anand to stop binge watching Game of Thrones again? I can't be like Valar Morghulis.
Winter is coming.
Feature number 2, Harman Kardon speakers. Fantastic, brilliant, mind-blowing, worth getting the premium variants. This lovely sound system is a treat. And how can I say no to A.R. Rahman's tunes when I want to sit back and relax? Live your mood? Well, certainly. Feature number 3, on-screen HVAC controls. Because why fix something which is not broken? Clearly, right Mahindra? I mean, if there were simple good old-fashioned buttons, it would have made life easier. But no. Next feature, powered driver's seat. A big plus. But why the discrimination for the co-pilot, Mahindra? Feature number 5, heads-up display, or as Mahindra likes to call it, Vision X. Now, I found the HUD positioning a little distracting in auto positioning mode, but when I manually adjusted it, it was far better. Overall, I don't care for it too much. Feature number 6, interior selfies and interior video selfies. Really? Why? Distraction. Right, guys? Why? And the last feature, groovy. Continue to make your parking lot into a rock concert arena. I mean, how often are you going to use this? Let me know in the comments. Now, one of the things that Mahindra isn't offering on any variants of the XEV 9e is a rear windshield wiper. I mean, as it is, this is no larger than a Lamborghini Countach, and cleaning it is a pain. So, a simple addition, but a big miss. But you forget all of that once you're seated here, because the XEV is a properly quick car. 380 Nm of spontaneous propulsion at the rear wheels, and with boost mode, you get that little bit of an extra kick to push you further and faster to higher triple-digit speeds. Mind you, you have to proceed with a great sense of caution, because this is going to be the first taste of a proper rear-wheel drive experience for the majority of Indian buyers. And as a result, this car does tend to get a little tail happy. It does tend to step out in an instant, especially on wet concrete roads. So the tires definitely should have been grippier. And even ESP calibration should have been a bit more subtle and kick in a little earlier than usual. Because right now, when it steps out, it catches back in a very shuddering manner, and that can become a little unnerving for a few drivers. And you do get the option of engaging one pedal driving system, but I don't quite find that very useful. In fact, it becomes very hard and intrusive and not very subtle. I find that keeping the regen at level 1 works best, because it allows the car to free roll slightly while also charging the battery back up, and that was a very neat balance for everyday driving and even for that matter highway driving.
Barring the base packed one, all variants of the XEV 9e get ADAS features, with some reserved only for the top pack 3. However, given the chaotic Indian road conditions, the aids were becoming more of a hassle than being actually useful. Switching them off for the city should be a no-brainer, and even on the highway, the functions were becoming intrusive, especially on the narrow twisty ghat sections.
And because you turn off all of the ADAS functionality, you don't get adaptive cruise control as well. In fact, you don't get cruise control altogether. And that is a shame, because if I want to have experienced the, say, convenience of cruise control on the highway, Mahindra should have given me the option to switch between the two, right? Even though, say, adaptive cruise control only works when auto emergency braking is on. But it takes control over the driving aspect of it, which I do not want to let go of thoroughly. So, Mahindra, if you had given in the car the option to switch from adaptive to non-adaptive cruise control, that would have helped a lot. And especially that would have been something worth using the convenience. But as of now, you can't get, say, non-adaptive cruise control in the top variants, only in the base version. The ride on the XEV feels taut and bouncy, especially from the rear seat. Now this roly-poly sort of feeling doesn't go away, and it filters through these small thuds also as and when you're going over them. So perhaps if this was a bit more plushly damped, it would have enhanced the overall comfort levels of the car, especially if you're going to be chauffeur driven for the majority of the drive.
If you are going to be chauffeur driven or will travel with family most of the time, then the rear seat experience is comfortable and spacious. It seats 3 very well, but 2 would be very ideal for long drives. The sky roof and large windows add to the sense of spaciousness to the cabin, but the sloping roof line, not so much. Plus, there are adequately placed charging sockets and tablet or screen mounts for you to either work or entertain yourself on drives.
Things that irritated me during the drive of the XEV 9e, well, these 2 front C-type ports have stopped working, and randomly these buttons also do not work. There was a screen glitch during Apple CarPlay integration once, but that has not propped up again because of the coupe roofline and the small windshield which is placed really high up. seeing out of the back becomes an issue. The rear camera is the first thing that gets dirty after a rainy drive. And lastly, there is no dedicated drive mode button anywhere on the screen or even on the console here. You have to press the vehicle settings, then it goes into this, and then you have to toggle through the drive modes. When stepping out, you are inadvertently going to rub your feet against the skirt, and that collects a lot of dust. So your jeans are bound to get muddied after a drive. So there you have it, the Mahindra XEV 9e, a futuristic looking car which promises a lot of good and especially great driving dynamics. But there are a few issues that will keep on propping up, or there are some that you cannot solve at your own disposal as well. Are you willing to live with those? Because still this is not quite as polished or sophisticated as you would have hoped it to be. So do me a favor, do let me know in the comment section below whether you are in the favor of the XEV 9e or you are looking for something more traditional like the Tata Harrier EV. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell notification icon, and please wear seat belts on all your drives, whether you are in the driver's seat, the co-pilot seat, or even in the seat behind. Thank you so much for watching.